Salutations, Motor Nation, and happy Halloween to you. Today I'm going to do a little working out on the Demon to make some money, do some street races, and then I'm going to tackle the Untamed Italians Summit. I still need a little bit of money to get all of my cars updated to make sure I've got all of the maximum bonuses I want to get. This here livery that I made is the Plum Crazy color available for the SRT Demon, the Challenger SRT Demon. I also did a version with the black top and back if you want to do the black hood thing. I actually prefer it with the paint, but I also did there's a red color that I did too, which I can't remember the name of at the moment. It's a dark red. Here, let's have a look. And I've shared them if you want to go and get them. So here's the Plum Crazy with, the Plum Crazy with the black top and back, and you can see the problem with it is that you can only have, there's a limitation of the livery editor, you can only have one type of material. So the hood and the trunk should be actually flat black, the same way the front hood would be if you had used that part. The one thing that I did apart from the color, the factory color, was make a little chrome around the headlights there. Normally they would be the same color as the paint or black if you chose that part. See, I also made a red, where's the red version? There it is. Here's the red version with black. I don't think I uploaded the red version without black. This is an earlier red version I did with slightly different color of red and stripes along the top of the roof area there. And to be honest, I don't know which way is more accurate, but if you just want to go for different looks. There's a slightly less saturated purple, and I don't think that one's mine. That one's not mine, it's somebody else's. But that's kind of the same idea. It's the same red color that I had there. So, let's do some racing. See what the weather's like when we get out there. First I'll set up the tracks. I'm not going to do all of them. I'm only going to do the ones that give the most bucks per minute, which I have calculated in a super secret spreadsheet that at some point I want to share. There was another spreadsheet that was done last year. It's a little bit out of date because it doesn't have the most recent maps from like the 1.3 Title Update 3. And it doesn't have all cars either. So, but the ones that I generally do are the Strip South, Motor Trend Classic Challenge, which is the biggest street car moneymaker. Harlem West, which is a nice jump on it. The Harley Davidson Red Rock Run, that one is actually a pretty good moneymaker. The nice thing about it is that it's longer, so you avoid the set. If you're going to be just farming bucks, you avoid the setup time between races. Strip North with a big jump at the start, downtown LA South with a quick shortcut. That's one of the fastest ones. Harlem East, that's the one with where you jump onto the train tracks or to either side in the middle of the race. Downtown Detroit, that's the one where you weave in and out of the freeway overpass lines in downtown Detroit. That one's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of turns in it. The Strip West is... Well, the Strip West is the one with the big jump at the start. The Strip North is, actually, they both have big jumps at the start. Strip West goes kind of in a different direction now. The Accident, which everybody's familiar with because it was one of the big grinders at the beginning until they nerfed the start of it. But still, you can get it under 2 minutes. It's still one of the faster ones because you can get in there 2 minutes without too much difficulty. And then when it's raining, I like to use West Florida Coast and Black Hills West. They aren't the best money makers, but I find them to be the most fun. The other ones with constant weather have either snow or rain on them, or they're kind of not all that interesting to me, like Pikes Peak, for example. A lot of uphill climbing in the Pikes Peak if you want to do it fast and take the shortcuts. And Big Bend Observatory and Big Bend, they have decent weather, but there's just a whole lot of switchbacks. It's just all turning all the time, that's almost as boring for me as doing straight line racing all the time. So let me check the stream real quick to make sure my mic is working properly. I probably should have done that before I yapped. Okay, it appears to be working. So let's hit the tarmac, shall we say. We'll start with the strip south as one of the easier ones. Oh, and it's raining, so I guess I'll be taking a rainy route first. Anyway, this is what the plum crazy paint looks like in the rain. Let's head to one of our rainy maps, routes, events, whatever you want to call them. West Florida coast. West Florida coast is tricky because there's a lot of supercars in the crowd, and they like to, the back end of this race is a lot of straightaways, and they like to draft off of each other to pick up speed, and they tend to go real fast, even on ace difficulty, especially on ace difficulty. They'll catch you if you're not paying attention. Now, I've been racing the Demon since I got it yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Several hours worth of racing, and it takes some getting used to, but it is, I would say it's a top-tier car with the proper pro settings, and once you get used to how it drives, I've turned in some good times on various races. Normally at this part in this race I would be ahead of the pack completely, but it varies because these supercars, that one, I think it's a Murcielago right there, they just go real fast on this track for some reason, on ace difficulty. So now that I'm ahead of them, let's see if I can keep that lead. And I'm going to stop talking because here's where it gets tricky. Oh, one thing I will mention, I'm set up for maximum bucks and fans here. I don't have a lot of boosts upgrades going for me, so make things a little bit more interesting. One thing I will say about the Demon is that it's fast and handles pretty well, but it still corners like a boat. Like, you know, the Challengers, I don't know, it just feels really heavy. And no amount of tuning that I did to the anti-roll bars or the suspension seemed to make a difference on that, so you may have a different experience. I'm going to keep my eyes open here because they're catching up on me. That sucker is drafting off of me. It's easy to lose them on that corner though. The AI is not very good at taking corners. What was that I said about not talking while I'm racing? Well, these are straightaways, so it's kind of hard to mess up. I'm not making very good use of the little boost that I have, though. At first I wasn't much of a fan of the engine sound on this thing, but it's kind of growing on me the more I use it. There we go, pretty easy win. First few times I tried that race, I was disastrous. Under 3 minutes is a good time for this. Not close to my personal best, but still pretty good. There's my personal best on a bike, 2:54. So 5 seconds slower than that, but still pretty good time. See how the weather is. Okay, it's not raining anymore. The streets are a little wet, but that's fine. Maybe a full 360 view of this lovely car. It's the bread truck in the way. Okay. Back to Strip South. Now you wouldn't think it from that start, but the Demon has one of the fastest 0 to 60s of any street car. Pretty amazing, actually. But for some reason in the starts, the AI just seems to blast right past us. Oops! I was hoping not to go over this, but still a little slippery from the rain. Whoops! Hey, that's not supposed to happen. Oh, crud. You know, I still am not 100% used to this car on the tight tracks like this.
3,
See if we can do a little better.
2, 1.
Still got a little bit of oversteer here. I need to tweak my pro settings a little bit, I think. I've been experimenting with them on and off all day yesterday. We'll have a look after this race. Still very slippery. This car has fairly good grip on dry, but oh, that's going to cost me. Well, I think I'll still win it. That's all that really matters. We're going for the money here. If I was trying to set records, I'd be using a Nitro Chemist set. Yeah, not too tough. 153 is an okay time. Under 150 is better. Kind of more my average time. 150-ish, or a little less maybe. Alright. Let's get out of traffic and have a look at the settings. Okay, so as I mentioned, well, let's have a look at the pilot settings first. Oh, there's point to spend. There we go. So I gave myself pure and extra pump. I was going to use these settings for the Summit. And don't really need, when you're doing drag races, you want Frenetic too, but don't really need it for this set of events in the Untamed Italian Summit. And of course Rich, because you can never have enough bucks. For the parts, I've got the full, I don't know if I have full bonuses here, but I do have the full, oops, frame magnet set. There we go. I think I'm short a few points on maybe... I think I have all of the bucks maxed out, but let's check, just to be sure. Okay, 6 and 3. Oops. I might want to do that. There we go, max there. Okay, a little short on the... Let's see if I can bump that up a little. I'll give it 3 shots. Oh no, I shouldn't have done that. Oh well. It's not the end of the world. I'm not short on followers. I'm using my parts here. Forget that. I'll fix it later. Okay, oh wow, I really... That should be more than 4.6. There we go. Okay. Max there. 5.5 is pretty good, honestly. Let's check them all before I start spending too much. 5.5. Okay, let me see if I can fix that one that I busted. It's probably not going to let me. I don't have a whole lot of parts left. Got enough for maybe 6 tries here. Mighty's not a bad one to have, doing off-roady type shortcuts. Yeah. Oh, one more. Oh, well, at least I got max Muddy. Better than nothing. Okay, so that's that. Let's move on to the next event. Motor Trend Classic Challenge, one of my favorites. We got rid of the slippy pavement, it looks like. Wendy's not going to do much for us on this track, that's for sure. Oh, I didn't check the pro settings. Oops. I'll do that after this race. Oh, no you don't. Man, look at that guy ahead of me. I've got good speed going, but I don't know, sometimes the AI just goes nuts. This is one of those races where the AI just, sometimes it just does impossible stuff. Like a fair lady outrunning a Dodge Demon. Fair lady must have a Lamborghini V12 in it or something. Oh wait, we can't do engine swaps, this isn't Forza. AI can, I guess. One thing I've noticed with this car, it has a tendency to spin wheels on slippy pavement, which is kind of weird. Especially because it has 8 gears, which makes for short gears, so it should downshift if it detects that. And I have the skid protection turned up, so it should detect it, but maybe it's just a bug. So yeah, my time on this one is 1:45 is not bad, but my best time is with a bike, of course. Bikes really shine on this event. So let's have a look at the pro settings real quick. Oops. My own half-baked pro settings I cooked up over the past day or so. Okay, so these are the global settings that I generally go with. A lot of people like to turn the SP all the way down because it slows you down if you start skidding, and they don't like the computer taking control of the car or whatever. But my thought on that is that if you're skidding, you were going too fast anyway, so it doesn't hurt to let the car help you. I have most everything set to defaults because the defaults are pretty good actually. I checked one tick in either direction and generally makes things worse. As far as the oversteer goes, normally the first thing that I'll do with a car is set the camera to minimum for maximum tiltage of the tires for best grip in turns, because there's no downside to it. There's no reason not to do it. And then, excuse me, the roll bars, I turn them all the way up to keep the car settling quickly. The thing about that is that turning the front roll bar up increases oversteer, and turning the rear roll bar up increases understeer. And there's a balance to be had there if you're having difficulty controlling. So I'm having a little bit of oversteer, but I don't really want to mess with this, because if I take the roll bar, the anti-roll bar much further down, it's going to make the car more floaty. I don't want that. Maybe turn the aero up a little bit. That'll slow me down a little bit, and it's minor effect on the lateral G's, but it will provide more control and curve. So I'm going to try that. We'll see what it does. See if it slows me down too much. The top speed on this I tested yesterday in stream on Salt Flats, and the top speed is pegged at 233 miles per hour. That's where the RPM limiter kicks in at 8th gear. And you can't go any faster than that, no matter what. You can go faster than that if you're drafting. I noticed. I actually did a little drafting test yesterday and got it to like 245, I think. So if you're running in crew, you can definitely go faster than that. So this is one of the fastest. One of the faster, I should say. I don't know if it's really top tier in terms of top speed. The thing about that is, on the street tracks, you almost never get a chance to get up to top speed. Only on, like for example, the West Florida coast one we just did. That's one of the few that you can actually get up to top speed. Okay. Harlem West. This one's fun. I'm still undecided on this plum crazy paint shade, but I'm just going to stick with it. I would think the demon would want a little bit more of a demonic color.
2, 1.
One of the stock colors is a nice kind of